how did you conduct the trials? How did you select the archers? Obviously, there is a lot of talent in the tribals of our country, especially in archery and hockey. Uh, what was your criteria of selecting the archers? I mean, what, or even today, when you select an archer, when you conduct a trial, what are the things that you focus on in an archer, or what are the requirements that you feel an archer should have?
See, there are three things very important for archery. The first is about a T stance. T stance is nothing. You are making a T, T. So what happens when I pull the elbow here? My line, the force arrow is pushing into the target. So my elbow has to be in line with the arrow.
Okay.
So if you look at all the top archers across the world, they have a beautiful T stance. The more angle I'm making, upward, downward, lateral. So what is happening? The forces are getting divided to F cos theta, F sin theta.
Okay.
So if my elbow is in line with the arrow, I'm getting 100% force behind the shot. So I started looking at archers who had a perfect elbow line. So that is known as a T stance. So I coined the T stance. Can we do, whenever you're looking at an archer, first thing is look at that. Then I started looking at his heartbeat, because for me it was very important that his heartbeat is low, because in archery anxiety plays a way. If you have tremors in your body, if you are having anxiety, your heart rate is raising, then you cannot shoot a tight shot. Archery is about push and pull. You have to have pushing into the bow. You have to pulling from your back muscles. So they have to be 50% both the side. So if you are under tremor, then you'll never be able to get a tight shot. And that is, the heartbeat is very, very important for us. So we started looking at that. The face is very important, because you need to get a solid anchor.
Right.
So if you don't have a solid anchor, you cannot shoot a shot. So therefore the angle of your face, so I started looking at that. So therefore we coined the entire technique. So what we did was we started looking at parameters which can help an archer. So what we did was we looked at his stance, his anchor position, his release, his follow through. So when we put points there, marks there for them.
Okay.
So what I used to do, I used to bring from all over India archers into the Tata Academy. 50 days or nearly 30 days, I used to take 50 archers and observe them over a period of a month.
All right.
In discipline. Does he have the discipline? Does he have the dedication? Does he have the devotion? Because if he doesn't have that, he cannot gel. So 1 month I used to watch and reduce from 50, come back to only 12 archers. And these 12 archers used to be there for me for 4 years. But we were very strict in terms of training. I had put a milestone that first year will be 1,000, then 1,100, 1,200 and 1,300. So 1,300 was the benchmark at the 4th year. If you could not meet my benchmark, I used to say, sorry, you can't be with me. So therefore, I started with 16 archers. I ended with 4 archers after 4 years. But these 4 archers were the national champions. They were winning medals at the international level. So anybody coming into my academy was assured of winning a medal at the international level. That was the thing we did. But then I was losing people. I used to feel very bad. I have training people and today I have to tell them to go. So I used to feel bad. What will they do? And that is the time when in 2003, I got a chance to go for the world championship as a national coach. And that was the first time in the history of archery that both the men team stood 4th and the women team stood 6th. And in the New York Times, it came out, the Dark Horse India Rises.
Okay.
Because that was the first time we qualified completely. And that is the time I saw compound archery for the first time. And I found that this is a game which is very good for India. Because for 2 things. One, we were short in height. Indians are short in height compared to the world.
Right.
Secondly, I had archers who were leaving. Can I keep them into compound? So I brought the compound bow in India in 2003.
Okay.
And I started training myself on compound archery for 1 year. And in 2004, I got the top coach from the world to come and do a seminar on compound. And then I started training all over the people. I used to encourage people to come in. And that is where resources makes a difference.
So prior to 2003, we didn't have compound. We didn't have any introduction to compound archery at all.
No. 2003 was the first year when I bought the compound bow. 1 year I trained myself. Then I started coaching archers across India. Started forming the Indian team. There were no takers. My association said, why are you doing compound? You're not even winning an Olympic medal. Recurve, why are you bringing compound? And I said, no, this is a game where India will do very well. Because it is a fair play. It creates a ground level position because anybody across the world can maximum shoot a 60 pound.
Right.
Indians, short in height, the takeoff was 20%, 40%. So I could still shoot a 40 poundage. So for me, a smaller or a taller, both are equal.
All right.
So that created a level playing field. So when 2003, 2004 I started, I became the national champion in compound, started learning, started taking the team abroad, started winning medals. Then after we started winning medals, and finally in 2005 and 6 May, we started winning the first world champion, the tribal world champion. Paltan Hansda became the world champion. Chanu Hansda became the Asian champion. That time, Jharkhand came on the world map. That is what I had promised to them. It came on the world map. Then India started recognizing, yes, compound is a sport. And from 2006, then came Abhishek Verma, Namita Yadav. They came in, and 2006-07, we became the junior Asian champions.
Right.
Just in a span of 4 years. And then we never looked back, because then people started helping us, sponsoring us. Initially, it was Tata Steel. Through its various suppliers, they helped me, and we were able to procure the bows, get the team ready. Then the various states started adopting archery, and today we are the world number 1.
So can a person who has started from compound archery can shift to a recurve later on?
Of course. See, a recurve can shift easily to compound,
Right.
because he knows the basics.
Right.
And it's much easier for him to shoot a compound. So many of the recurve archers are now shifting to compound and becoming world level players. So many of the archers are doing it, because they try their luck at recurve. They cannot make it. Shift to compound. That's what happened. All my archers who were leaving, whom I had to tell them to go, we brought them back into archery. And that is why India started doing very well in compound. Because I had already had trained archers,
Right.
who had already reached a level. It was just switching. And that switch helped them. And they started winning at the junior level, senior level. And that's why we are world number 1 in women and world number 2 in the men.